And welcome. My name is Wendy Bonner, and I am the Regulatory Manager for the Hazardous Waste Management Bureau at the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. I am serving as the presiding officer for today's hearing. This hearing is being held to receive public comment on hazardous waste rules proposed by the Department of Environmental Services that would add clarity, remove unnecessary requirements, or correct errors. The proposed rules would also readopt portions of the rules that are due to expire in 2026 and 2027. The rulemaking notices for these rules were published in the New Hampshire Rulemaking Register on December 4th, 2025 as notice numbers 2025-274 through 2025-281. This hearing is being held on the date, time, and location indicated in those notices. This hearing is being held in person as well as via Microsoft Teams to provide increased access. Please note that this hearing is being recorded. During this hearing, I'll provide an overview of the technology that we are using, explain the mechanism for submitting written comments, and explain how to register to provide verbal comments on the rule revisions. Then I will provide a summary of the rule and proposed changes, and lastly, we will receive public comments. All attendees have the opportunity to listen and will be able to provide verbal testimony when invited through the Microsoft Teams platform, by phone, and in person. At this time, I am going to provide an introduction to the Microsoft Teams platform that we are using for this hearing. You will notice that the Teams meeting controls are at the top of your screen. There is a microphone or mic button that will allow you to speak only when you are called upon after NHDES staff enables your microphone. You will also have access to the chat function that I will explain shortly. As of now, the chat function is turned off and will be enabled later. Your video should be disabled and will remain in that state during the hearing. Right now, all attendees are muted, the chat function is disabled, and you should be able to see and hear NHDES staff. Attendees will remain in this state until I open the floor for comments. I will provide detailed instructions on how to request to speak shortly. If you need technical assistance with Microsoft Teams, we have Alyssa Moody of NHDES available to help. I will provide her phone number and email address now, and her contact information will be posted on the screen intermittently throughout the hearing. You can reach Alyssa by phone at 603-271-6460 or by email at alyssa.a.moody@des.nh.gov. That's ALYSSA.A.moodie@des.nh.gov. If you are experiencing trouble with computer audio, we suggest calling in with your telephone. The call-in number is 603-931-4944. The phone conference ID is 977-207-285 pound or #. If you do call in, to avoid an echo, please turn off your computer speakers. I'll provide instructions shortly regarding when to use your microphone. Until you're called upon to speak, your microphone will be disabled. Now I'll provide instructions on how to provide written comments. Written comments on the proposed rules may be submitted until the close of the public comment period on Friday, January 9th at 4 p.m. Written comments can be submitted via email to NHDES rules at des.nh.gov, submitted online using the NHDES Administrative Rules Public Comment Form available on our website, or mailed to Wendy Bonner, NHDES Hazardous Waste Management Bureau, P.O. Box 95, Concord, New Hampshire, 03302-0095. After the close of the comment period, the department will consider all comments received and will decide whether to revise the rules in response to the comments. The department will file its final proposed rules for consideration by the Joint Legislative Committee on Administrative Rules, otherwise known as JLCAR. The department will post the final proposed rules online on its administrative rules page. At this time, I will provide a brief overview of the proposed rules. We are receiving public comment today on proposed rule revisions that seek to accomplish 3 goals. The first is to adopt some changes that add clarity, remove unnecessary requirements, or correct errors. The second is to readopt interim rules in Env-Hw 514 and 515 as 10-year rules. And the third is to address the upcoming expiration of the hazardous waste rules by readopting with amendments Part Env-Hw 207 and chapters Env-Hw 400 and 800. I will provide a brief overview of some of the proposed changes. For further details, please see the rulemaking notices and the rule language in the initial proposals, all of which are available on the NHDES website in the Public Comment Opportunities section. On that page, select the rulemaking category. In section Env-Hw 202.01 waiver provisions, the department is proposing to clarify that any requirement that is more stringent than federal requirements is eligible for a waiver unless that requirement is imposed by state statute. Part Env-Hw 207 regarding certifications is proposed to be readopted with editorial changes. Chapter Env-Hw 400, Identification and Listing of Hazardous Wastes, is proposed to be readopted with revisions in Part Env-Hw 406, which pertains to delisting petitions. Within Chapter 500, Requirements for Hazardous Waste Generators, in Env-Hw 505, the department is proposing to correct errors and to revise Form HWM-3, the SQG and SQG inactivation/declassification form, to require a mailing address for future correspondence after a business has closed. In Env-Hw 514, the department is proposing to readopt interim rules as regular 10-year rules. The interim rules pertain to fees that were increased by the state legislature effective July 1st, 2025. Env-Hw 514 also references Form HWM-3, VSQG and SQG inactivation/declassification form, which the department is proposing to revise to require a mailing address for future correspondence. In Env-Hw 515, the department is proposing to readopt interim rules as 10-year rules. Chapter Env-Hw 800, Requirements for Recycling of Hazardous Waste, is proposed to be readopted with revisions. The waiver provisions in Part Env-Hw 810 would be repealed because they are duplicative of the waiver provisions in Env-Hw 202. In addition, Part Env-Hw 811 regarding speculative accumulation would be renumbered as Env-Hw 807. Within Chapter Env-Hw 900, regarding inspection and enforcement, in Env-Hw 904.09, the the department is proposing to add a proposed administrative fine for certain training violations instead of using the matrix in Env-Hw 904.17 to calculate a proposed fine. Env-Hw 904.16 is proposed to be revised to conform with a proposed change to Env-Hw 1406.05, which I will describe in a moment. In Env-Hw 904.17, one paragraph is proposed to be removed and readopted in a new section, Env-Hw 904.18. Env-Hw 1003 and 1004 pertain to grants for household hazardous waste collection events and for used oil collection centers, respectively. The existing rules require grant applicants and recipients to be in compliance with the hazardous waste rules to be eligible to receive grant funds. The department is proposing to add a checkbox to grant forms so that the applicant or recipient can indicate whether they are in compliance. If not, they must explain the steps they are taking to return to compliance. Env-Hw 1003.03 refers to Form HWM-7 Household Hazardous Waste Grant Application. Env-Hw 1003.10 refers to Form HWM-8 Household Hazardous Waste Collection Report Form. And Env-Hw 1004.03 refers to Form HWM-9 Household Do-It-Yourself DIY Used Oil Collection Center Grant Application. Lastly, in Env-Hw 1406.05, the department is proposing to remove a duplicative requirement regarding used oil shipments. That was a brief overview of the proposed changes to the hazardous waste rules. For further details, please see the rulemaking notices and the rule language in the initial proposals, all of which are available through the NHDES website in the Public Comment Opportunities section. On that page, select the rulemaking category. I will now provide instructions on how to register to provide verbal comments or ask clarifying questions about the proposed rules. If you wish to speak and are physically present at the hearing, if you haven't already done so, please fill out a comment card and give the card to our hearing facilitator, Julie Ashton. For those of you participating virtually who would like to comment, when we enable the chat function, you will need to type your name, full address, and affiliation into the chat box. The information you provide in the chat box is not your comment, and you should not type any substantive content in this box. Please only type information to identify who you are. For those participating by phone, please wait until prompted before taking any action to sign up to speak. Pressing any button on the phone will trigger an automated voice message to play, and you may miss any further instructions I give. For phone participants who would like to speak, when I am done with these instructions, you may dial *5 on your keypad to signal our hearing facilitator that you would like to comment. When called on, you will be instructed to dial *6 on your keypad, which will allow our hearing facilitator to unmute your microphone. For those of you who are virtual or participating by phone, we will call your name and enable your microphone so that you can make your comment. Please note that when you are unmuted and speaking, the department and all other attendees will hear you. If you are having technical difficulties, please contact Alyssa Moody, and we will continue down the list of speakers until you are able to be heard. We will be taking comments from those who are in person first, followed by virtual attendees, and then those participating by phone. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. In addition to providing verbal comments, the department would appreciate written copies of those comments. Please email them to nhdesrules@des.nh.gov. If you are unable to provide all your comments in the allotted 5 minutes and time allows, you may request an additional 5 minutes using the same methods you used to request to speak. If we run out of time and are unable to receive additional comments, please submit them via email to nhdesrules@des.nh.gov. We are now ready to receive comments or clarifying questions. If you would like to speak, please register at this time if you haven't already. We will take the names of everyone wishing to speak and list them on the screen. This way you can see where you are on the list. Please give us a moment as we prepare the list. If we do have anyone request to comment, as a reminder, please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. NHDES staff member Tyler Croto will hold up a yellow card when you have 1 minute remaining to speak. A red card will signal that your time is up. I will notify you when you have 1 minute remaining to speak. At this time, no one has registered to comment. We will wait a moment to allow anyone to register if they wish to speak. Those who are physically present may fill out a comment card and bring it to the hearing facilitator, Julie Ashton. Those who are virtually present may type their name, full address, and affiliation into the chat box to register. And for those participating by phone, dial *5 to signal our hearing facilitator that you would like to speak. Seeing that no one wishes to comment, this hearing is hereby closed. I remind you that written comments can be submitted before 4 p.m. on Friday, January 9th, 2026. Thank you for participating in this hearing.